Hey everybody, it's been one of those days. I tell you what, I go to film my painting today and the video camera is not working. Something's wrong with the memory card or whatever and I can't figure it out, and my IT husband is at work, so I'm having to use my phone again. And it just seems like some days things are working against you. And I just wanted to say, do it anyway. I just listened to the song by Martina McBride. She's a country singer, called Anyway. You need to pull it up on your YouTube and listen to it. It's like when you're not feeling like you need to do what you need to do it anyway. Sing anyway. Love anyway. Paint anyway. And I'm in this mentoring group on Facebook, and it's by Matt Tommy. It's called Created to Thrive, and this is his book, which is in my Amazon link below the video. It's an awesome book. I've read it. I've been in his mentoring group on Facebook for about a year, and it's really been life-changing for me. And he does a weekly video on Facebook that's very helpful, and the one they brought up this past week, he does, just like a little quick, he does a little quick video on parts of it, and then another part he'll do it like an hour or so answering questions for people that are trying to thrive as a Christian artist. And he mentioned Isaiah 54, which is a really awesome chapter, and it starts out about women that can't bear children, and he tells them to go and sing and shout with joy anyway, because if you do what he asks you to do, you will eventually get those blessings that he promises you. And so there's a lot of days when things kind of work against us, whether it's personal things in our life with our family members or relationships or your job or health. There's so many obstacles in this life, but the key is to sing anyway, dance anyway, paint anyway, love anyway. So read Isaiah 54. If you're interested in this is an awesome book, Created to Thrive by Matt Tommy, T-O-M-M-E-Y. And read Isaiah 54, because it really talks about doing things in spite of how you're feeling, and it will bless you. So I've got my camera up on the pedestal here, and it's kind of crooked. I'm going to try to straighten it out. It's taped, because I don't know how to even hold the camera up there. I can't find the right attachments. So I have my camera taped up on this stand because I'm going to video anyway. And I'm going to paint anyway because it brings me joy. And I hope it brings you some joy. It makes me happy. And that's what I'm meant to be doing. It's my gift. And so I'm going to share anyway. So what I'm doing today, I've got a little bit of a different recipe that I'm going to try out here, and it's all mixed up in this big 24-ounce Pepsi to-go cup. 3 parts floetrol, 1 part GAC 800, and 1 part Liquitex pouring medium. So I've mixed this cup up full with 3 parts, 1 part, and 1 part. So it's floetrol latex based. There's the Liquitex pouring medium. This was my bottle of GAC 800 that I had. It was only 2 ounces, and I needed, I don't know, about 4 ounces or so in this size cup. So I made up the difference with Elmer's Glue All. I figure, hey, what the heck? It's an experiment. It's just a new recipe to see how it works. How it, kind of, if it works any differently than my typical recipes. I really don't think it will. I've got my colors mixed up. I'm going to go through these very, very quickly. And, you know, there's not always colors that I have in tubes or bottles that really work for me. So half the time I mix my colors up if they aren't what I want it to be. Also, I bought a new roll of my butcher paper, $14 at Hobby Lobby. I was in Hobby Lobby and I knew that I needed another roll. Instead of ordering it from Amazon, which I typically do, I went and got it from Hobby Lobby and used my 40% off coupon because it's $14, so that made it, you know, $8 or so. It's 30 inches deep and it's a 50-foot roll, 50 feet. So it lasts for quite a while, but this is what I always have on my table, and it's fabulous for not letting your paint seep through or, you know, stay on your paper much. You can peel it off. If it's thicker, you can peel it off and use it for acrylic skins. It's perfect. So that's what I always use as butcher paper. So very quickly, I'm going to go through the colors. I'm doing the chakra colors again, but in one pour. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but I want it kind of gradient. And so I'm going to very quickly go through the colors. And I'll just start on the red end. This is a deeper red, and I mixed Liquitex Basics. I'll mention all of these are Liquitex Basics except for a few. Cadmium Red, Deep Hue, and Quinacridone Magenta. That's the deeper red. The lighter red is Cadmium Deep Red Hue, Artist Loft Vermilion, which is an orangey red. I have my deeper orange, that is Vermilion that I just mentioned, and Liquitex Basics Cadmium Orange Hue. So that's in the deeper orange. The lighter orange is Cadmium Orange Hue with Cadmium Yellow Medium Hue. That makes a brighter orange there. This is a combination of Liquitex Basics, Cadmium Yellow Medium Hue, and Yellow Oxide. So it's a deeper golden yellow. This one is the Cadmium Yellow Medium Hue mixed with some Master's Touch White to make it a brighter, lighter yellow. This is Master's Touch Chrome Oxide Green with some Phthalocyanine Green and a little bit of Master's Touch Light Green in it. So that's my deeper green. This one is the Chrome Oxide Green, a little bit of that, a lot of light green, and then a lot of green yellow, and I put a little cadmium yellow in it to make it this brighter, lighter green. The purple is Violet by Artist Loft. The lighter one is the Violet plus Deep Violet, Liquitex Basics. And the Violet was Artist Loft, I don't know if I said that. And I had kind of a periwinkle blue that I had mixed up to do a Carolina Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill Ram. So it's kind of a periwinkle purple. I put a little of that into there as well to lighten it just a bit. For my blues, it calls for, the chakra has like an indigo blue, and so this is a really dark navy blue that I had mixed. I put a little bit of that in, and some cobalt blue hue and cerulean blue to make my deeper indigo blue. Then for the lighter one, I did the cobalt blue hue and the cerulean blue together. And I might have put a little periwinkle in that to lighten it just a bit. So, and then for my turquoise color, I did Artist Loft Turquoise. I added a little bit of the Phthalocyanine Blue and the Phthalocyanine Green to get the deeper color. And on this lighter one, I used the turquoise and Liquitex Basics Bright Aqua Green. and maybe a little bit of white in that one. So those are my colors. I'm going to mix these ratios of 1 to 1. I've got about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces in a 5-ounce cup of paint. They're all super thick because they came out of tubes, so I'm going to put the pouring medium in them first, and then if I need to add water to get the right consistency, then I will add water. I will be back in a minute after I've added all my pouring medium to my colors. Thanks. The camera's running. I finally got my paints mixed. That's quite an undertaking. It took me about an hour or more to mix all my paints, and they are to the brim. Again, I am notorious for doing that. These are 5-ounce cups, and I've got 5 ounces in them for sure. It's crazy. So I want to do a gradient color kind of thing. So I think this is the way I want to go. It's like this. I've got a 12 by 12 I'm experimenting on first. So I have the pouring mixture that I told you about, and I put it into the cup. I added just a hair more floetrol because the paint was so thick out of the tubes. And then I added water, probably about 10% water to each cup. So like I said, they are full to the brim. I've got coconut milk, but I'm not adding it. I don't want any silicone or anything in it because I want to see just by itself what the paint is going to do. And a 12 by 12, it says, takes 5 ounces of paint to cover a canvas. So basically it takes a full cup of this. I'm going to put it in a big cup to begin with because I'm going to pour in the center, and if I have a very full cup, I'm not going to be able to control it as well. So I'm going to take that one out of the way. So it's going to all be poured in this cup here. I've got a larger canvas. If this works the way I want it to, I'm going to do a larger canvas. But right now it's the 12 by 12. And it's rocking a little bit, which means it's not even. So I've got to make sure that I've got an even canvas first. You don't want any rocking going on. Also, if your canvas is a little loose, you can spray the back, spray bottle with water in it, and dry it or just let it dry over time, and it will make it a nice tight bond that makes that canvas a lot tighter. So I need 5 ounces, which is, I'm gonna make 6 just in case. I don't know what size this is. I would say probably about 8 or 9 ounces. But I'm gonna want about 6 ounces. So this will be a good thing that I can get a little bit of this stuff out of the 5-ounce cups because there's so much of it. It's kind of on the thick side. And I can tell that's probably too much right there already. I didn't have dioxazine purple. This is just violet. Dioxazine is a little bit darker. I'm trying to pour my colors very carefully so they don't sink. This frees up some space in these cups, so if I want to add some more water to them, I can, because you can add more water up to 20 or 30%. I'm going to add a little bit more. I don't really like to add a lot of water because I want that paint to be really strong and vibrant. So I'm trying to do very thin layers, and that one sunk down a little bit because I dropped it in kind of quickly. think I'm going at a pretty good ratio here because I want a little over half of this cup to be filled. Trying to wipe off colors too so I don't wipe that color into my next color. So I'm doing dark light, dark light, dark light in the order. Making a mess here on my fingers. I'm glad I wore gloves when I was mixing paint because I just can't do it without getting paint all over my... I don't know how people in videos have like manicured fingernails or how they keep paint off their hands. Some of them do it like just with straight hands, no gloves, and it's like, how on earth? Okay, I got more than enough paint here. So it looks like a rainbow if you can kind of see there. And I've got a little bit of green that dripped on the side of my cup. I'm going to try to get that off there because I don't want that green mixing in with everything. I am going to do a layer of white first, very thin layer. I've got a cup here, it's easier to get into. Sometimes I mix it like days ahead and the lids stick. There is a stick in here, okay. I don't want a ton of it, I just want a little bit. I plan on going over the edges with the color. So I'm not really concerned about the white really going over the edges that much. I just want it to be kind of fluid on top so it helps the paint flow. But there is no silicone or coconut milk or anything in the paint colors. It's straight out paint, floetrol, GAC 800, Liquitex pouring medium, and some water. Oh, and I added that little bit of glue all to make up for the GAC 800 that I didn't have enough of because I only had a little tiny bottle of it because a lot of that Liquitex stuff is expensive. So, here goes. And I already can tell I've got way too much paint. Because of all the red that came out. So I'm basically slowly going to just go kind of to every around the whole area of the circle. See, I wish I had not done that in the center where I moved my the middle around. I wish I'd have kept it really centered in the middle. So I'm pulling out my full pan for the runoff. And I'm also going to, before I start this, scoot these out of the way so there's no chance of me dripping any color into my mixed paints. I don't want to contaminate them with other colors. I'm not crazy about this, but I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. I'm gonna use the heat gun on it and just see if any cells pop out, because I didn't put silicone, but I'm just curious if anything will, you know, show up from it. Just trying to get it to look a little bit more like, but that white pops out when you get too close to the edge. I mean, down to the canvas, so you get that white. Oh well. I like it. I like the red on the corners. It makes it kind of pop. So here it is. Let's see. I see a lump of something. Pretty pleased with it.